Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be a different change of pace. If you can already realize by me, sitting in a chair that looks nice with a cool background, that looks nice. The reason why is because I'm in my bedroom, not in the basement, like I usually am. So, you're going to see a lot of cool decor back there, but I think this setup looks a lot nicer. And yes, in case you're wondering, my phone is sitting on an Axe body spray can on my dresser. So, that's pretty cool. But we're going to do a different type of video today, and I'm going to try and turn this into a series, movie reviews. I have been watching a lot of movies recently, because, they're interesting. But I have one with me here today. Whiplash. This is a movie that came out in 2014. I went into this movie open-minded. All I saw was edits on TikTok, and I'm like, you know what? This movie looks really good. So, I have no, bias against the movie, besides the fact that J.K. Simmons is Omni-Man, and Omni-Man is sick. So, Anyway, this movie was very good. To start off, the story is great. I mean, you have the main character, Andrew Neiman. And he's this boy, and he wants to play the drums, but he's in this low-level, jazz group in, college, right? I think college, he's 19, so, a music college. And he's there so he can pursue his music career. Only problem is, he's not that great, and he wants to be the great, or one of the greats. One that keeps coming up within the movie is Charlie Parker, and Joe Jones, and Louis Armstrong, but mainly Charlie Parker and Joe Jones, which we'll focus on here. Now, for those who don't know, I don't know either, but based on the movie, Charlie Parker was the saxophone guy, and one day he got a cymbal thrown on his head because he messed up. And then he got the nickname Bird because he had the cymbal thrown on his head, which is a pretty sick nickname. Bird, and how the origin of it, too. But, so we have Neiman. And one day, one of the opposing teachers, aka J.K. Simmons, aka Fletcher, Terrence Fletcher, he's the teacher, and he's for this higher-up group. And he sees Neiman, and he's like, "You're pretty good." But he doesn't say that. He's just like, "You, Neiman, come with me." So he tells him to come to this jazz group tomorrow, 6 a.m. Turns out, the group doesn't start till 9 a.m., but, so, Andrew's there 3 hours early. Once he gets there and he arrives, everybody else arrives, he plays the drums, everybody else is doing their thing, they start practicing, blah, 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 blah. Then we get to see Fletcher in action. And the current drummer is pretty alright at best. He's not great, and he's not going to be one of the greats, but he's still pretty good. So then, Neiman, he gets on the drums, and, Fletcher's like, "Hey, it's okay, you're fine." 5 minutes later, he's screaming at him in his face, slapping him, and yelling and screaming at him, because he's not playing correctly. And one of Fletcher's favorite things to say is, "Are you directly sabotaging my band?" Which, is kind of selfish for making a mistake, but we'll get into that later. So, we have Fletcher, and he's talking to Andrew Neiman about how he sucks at playing the drums, and he tells him if he wants to be a drummer, he has to get better at it. So he does, and we have a montage of Neiman playing the drums and trying to get better and better and better. And then, we go back the next day, and he's playing the drums again, and he's still not doing great. So he goes home, and he has to do a double time swing, which means, double the speed. So if you're hitting a it means you gotta go super fast. If you're going to, it's extra fast, which he's not able to do. And he's bleeding when he's playing the drums, and he's getting all blurry, and he's punching his drum set, and he's mad. But then, he gets the part. He gets it down. But by the time he gets it down, a new guy comes into town, Connolly. I think his name's Ryan Connolly, or something like that. He's a ginger, so I'm going to call him Connolly. And Connolly is pretty good at drawing. he was in the old group, Nassau, that Andrew was in the beginning, when Fletcher first met Andrew. And Andrew's mad. He's like, why the heck did you pick, like, Connolly as my main person? You know, I'm the main guy. Why'd you pick this guy? And he's like, well, you know, because Connolly is, you know, he's going to play. And they play, and they play, and they play, and all three of them suck. And Neiman sucks, the weird other guy sucks, and Connolly sucks. Only Neiman is the one that's able to get it correctly. So, they then go to this big performance, big thing. And Neiman shows up 10 minutes late after renting a car to drive over. But he forgets his drumsticks, so he has to drive all the way back, and then he gets in the car, and he drives back, and he gets in a car accident. And what does he do? Like the, you know, big brain guy he is? Well, he gets out of the car, he grabs his drumsticks, and he goes right to the performance center. Yeah, no police. None of that. Too simple for good old Andrew Neiman. So he arrives at the center, and he's ready to play this big performance. But, you know, says he just got hit by a car. He sucks. And he screws it up, and he fails, and Fletcher pretty much tells him, hey, you did terrible, and you sabotaged my band. So Neiman decides to tackle him in front of the entire audience, and then gets sent out. Because of this, his dad puts him in therapy. Now, this therapy session, the ladies is like, hey, I don't want another kid to go through what Fletcher is putting you through. So, what did he say? Scene cuts. Sad part, Neiman tells them everything, you know. Can of beans were opened, was it the donkey's mouth spoken? Something like that. Okay? He told them everything. And they were not happy. Well, Fletcher was kind of sad about this, because then he gets kicked out of Schaefer, which is where he was in. Like Nassau, Schaefer, those are the two things. And now he's doing he's a jazz pianist at this, like, jazz bar thing. And he does pretty well, and then he talks to Neiman, and he's like, hey, they kicked me out, it's really sad, some kid reported me, blah, 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 but I'm going to be doing this thing at JVC band with a professional band, and, you know, he's going to be with this big group, better people, and he's like, we need a drummer. So he hires Neiman to be the drummer. On the day of the drumming session, Neiman shows up, he's playing the drums, but he gets so encapsulated in his drumming that he takes over the show. So he starts drumming in the middle of Fletcher's speech, and he keeps... Sorry, my dog barked. He keeps drumming and drumming and drumming and drumming and drumming. And then the song's over. The song's done. But Neiman, he keeps drumming. And he's like, I'll cue you guys in. So he cues in Fletcher, the band director, and the rest of the band by himself. And then he starts playing. He plays really good. It's really entertaining. And then, you know, Fletcher's like, da-na-na-na, and it's 9 minutes of just beautiful jazz music. And then the movie ends by him finishing the solo. And then open credits. And that's it. That is the end of the movie. And that was a very, very, very simplified version of the movie. But that movie was really good. You can see on the box here, they gave it a 4 stars. Exhilarating, thrilling, New York Post-Chronicle, a bunch of random stuff. Right. So, my honest rating is out of 10, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty good. Out of 5 stars, I give it either a 3.5 or a 4.2 out of, probably not a 3.5, but a 4.2 out of 5 stars. And out of 100%, I give it an 86% out of 100%. Because yet again, it's not quite great, but it's not terrible. There are many movies out there that are better that I hope to get into in this series. As you can see, I have a specific interest behind me of a lot of movies that will get very high ratings. If you couldn't tell, it's obviously Superman. But let me know if you have any movies that you'd like me to watch in the comments, as long as it's free or I have the service provider, or if I haven't watched it myself, or what you want me to review. And hope you enjoyed this video. You can click literally nowhere to watch anything else, because I don't know how to do that on my mobile phone. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.